At Crown Point, we believe in creating a real estate experience for our clients that is second to none. Educating and preparing our clients for what to expect is the best way to ensure we get you started in the right direction. As committed realtors, we are always on the go and always well caffeinated. We decided why not answer your real estate questions over a cup of coffee at some of our favorite spots. This is Coffee with Crown Point.
Hey Gidget, thanks for bringing me here. Schemos in Henderson. Fantastic coffee, fantastic location, but today we really want to get focused on answering some of the questions that buyers often ask us. And so we're going to jump right into the first question that we hear most frequently, and really the one that's most on people's mind is, how much can I afford?
No, that's a real personal question. We get asked that quite a bit. But it starts with your family budget and your personal budget. So I just encourage my clients to sit down, look at their finances, and decide how much of their family budget, how much of their monthly outcome they want to go towards housing. And that's the first place to start. Then the next item is with your lender. They'll tell you from your back end and front end ratios how much home you can afford. A back end ratio and a front end ratio is calculated. The front end ratio is calculated by taking your gross paycheck. That means the money before taxes. So $5,000 a month would be your gross income. You would divide that by the monthly payment, and that would give you a ratio. Right now, ratios for FHA, VA, and conventional are running in the low 30s. So you would take that monthly payment of $1,300 and divide that by your $5,000 income, and that's what you get your front-end ratio. The back-end ratio is calculated by using all your debt, your credit cards, your student loans, any type of medical payment. So any monthly payment you're making, they add that to your house payment, and that would be your back-end ratio. And those have been running about in the 45 to 50 range. We've seen them go a little higher in special circumstances. But that's how much you can determine quickly how much home you can afford. And start with your family budget. So the next time we get asked, after everybody looks at their pricing and determine what they can afford, is what is the next step in the home buying process?
In the home buying process, well, just like the budget is unique to your personal situation, your purchase plan is going to be unique and customized to your family's scenario. So consulting with a realtor is absolutely one of the first steps that you want to make happen, because the realtor is going to not only take all of the elements of your budget, but also your timeline and the urgency and your family's needs and wants, put them together in a strategic game plan that's going to work best for your family. And so a professional who's in the local space, who represents you in your neighborhood, is really the person that you want to get connected with first. And when it's time to make that step happen and you're actively writing contracts, we hear most frequently from buyers, well, do I really need to get pre-approved?
Absolutely. So one of the key successes to negotiating for you and our clients a great home price is making sure they have all the tools for that negotiation up front. We also don't want to get ahead of ourselves by start showing you homes that don't fall within your budget. Now, you might have determined what your family budget was, as we talked about earlier, but your lender is going to let you know what that pre-approval amount is. But that's also a very important tool for your realtor to use to negotiate a great price for you, because that seller wants to know when he goes to contract, he's dealing with a solid buyer.
Absolutely.
So it's a very important step. So when do you start this process, Jared? When do we start that? We talked about budgets and lenders, but when do we start looking for a home?
Well, again, back to the timeline, the uniqueness of the family's situation. Depending on how fast you need to move, the contract and home writing phase is really going to be between 30 and 60 days. And so that's when you're active, really trying to negotiate for the place that you're looking for. But the process really starts about 4 to 6 months ahead of time. That's why you want to meet with a realtor to find out what your situation is. Sometimes there's things that show up on the credit report that maybe wasn't expected. And so working with the lender, working with the realtor, understanding how to get those cleared up would really benefit you ahead of time. And as you mentioned, put you in the best position for negotiating the house that you want. And with that, I mean, when we understand that timeline and work with them, the question we get asked frequently, and I hope we answered here, is why should I use a realtor?
Well, first of all, as we talk through those steps, helping you understand an important game plan and a plan for success is what your realtor's job is. And they are a full-time professional who lives and breathes real estate every day. And they are ahead of the trends. They know where the market conditions are to ensure you're buying not only a good priced home, but also the right home. The home that meets your family's needs, not only for today, but for the future. You're going to be communicating that with your realtor. A realtor is So important in a transaction, just like you wouldn't take your 401k and invest that with just anybody on the corner. You want to make sure you have the professional in your corner negotiating for you, finding you the right home that meets your needs, one that's going to be there long term for you.
Right.
Well, I think that kind of wrapped up our buyers presentation today. We want to thank you for joining us, and we look forward to talking to you next week with Coffee at Crown Point.
Cheers.
You have a question that you'd like to have answered? Feel free to submit a comment below, send us a message, or give us a call, and we will feature it in an upcoming episode.